I'm Betty Martin. I'm representing the League of Women Voters, and I will be your moderator for this evening. The procedure we will follow is this. We will have opening statements from each candidate. They are going to be given 2 minutes for each opening statement. And watch the lady right down here, Louise Anderson, because she will let you know where you are. When she says stop, I'm not going to say what happened when she says stop, but we will stop. Following opening statements, we would have a question from the Tribune Star, the co-sponsors of the League of Women Voters for this program tonight, and for all of the forums with the mayor and the one that we hope to get tomorrow night. They will ask a question. Each candidate will have 1 minute. Then the league will ask a question, 1 minute. The second question from the Tribune, 1 minute. And you don't need to worry. Everything after the opening remarks is 1 minute. Then there will be, after the 2 questions from the league and the Tribune Star, we will have questions from the audience. Now, I will kind of determine when I get the questions about how much time to give, but by and large, we try to hold it to 1 minute. As you can see, with the number of candidates we have, we could be here all night and take too many minutes for each question. I realize that in a minute, you can't thoroughly answer a very difficult or involved question. So we'll try to simplify the questions if we can, but try to give it your best shot. Mark Bennett, I believe, is representing the Tribune Star, and Peggy Evans. I'm sorry. There they are. I'm sorry. Bianca Gamble. I see now where you are. I was looking around. We'll be asking questions to the League of Women Voters. Now, they are seated over there, but they will use a microphone to raise their questions. The procedure for answering the questions is this. We will start this evening at my far right, which will be Travis BM. Travis will start the evening. Then after we've gone through all, we will just keep moving down the line with each question. So the same person will not be answering the questions first. It will be someone else each time. Then when we get ready to do the wrap-up, which will be about a minute apiece, again, I'll probably start from my far left and do the wrap-up. But we will just move right down the line with the questions. I think at this time, we'll go ahead and get started with the statements from each of the candidates. This is their 2-minute statement on explaining who they are, why they wanted to run, and any other information that they want to share with us at this time. We'll start far right. And you do have to share the mics, as you realize they're kind of spread out. Be sure they're turned on. And then we'll just have to move them around a little bit in order to share the microphones. Thank you. We'll begin with you, Travis.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. I thank the League and the Tribune also for putting us on. Appreciate the time and everybody coming out tonight. I should say my name is Travis BM, candidate for District 1. Lived in Bucks County all my life. Kind of got involved in politics, I guess, because I'm frustrated with a lot of people who with tax money, where it's being directed, and so forth. So I've just taken a more active approach and interest in it. It's kind of what started this whole process, as well as some other issues. My background is somewhat varied. I was a police officer for a while. I graduated the Law Enforcement Academy at Plainfield. I have both a bachelor's and a master's degree in criminology, so I'm trained field there. Like I said, and currently I teach for ISU part-time and I work at Stanford full-time, so I've seen some of you there at some point. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to getting into the forums such as this and get some ideas out there of what I think I can do and why I think I can do the job as a candidate for District 1. Thank you.
Moving on to Rich Duncan.
I can't speak very well from sitting down, so I'm going to stand up. My name is Rich Duncan. I'm the current incumbent city councilman in the 1st District. I've been a city councilman since January 1st of 2004. I've been representing the 1st District as best I can. I'll tell you, when I first ran for city council, I ran basically on the premise that I lived in the 1st District for 5, 6, 7 years, and I didn't know what a city councilman was. I didn't know what, I'd never been contacted by, I never knew who to contact in the city, to get anything done. Basically, when I called my city councilman, he wouldn't return my phone calls. So I made a vow that I would run as a city councilman and represent the people of the 1st District. And to that end, I can assure you, as I stand here tonight, that every time someone has contacted me, they've got their call returned same day. Well, up until about a week ago, I can make that claim. Norma McGarrett, who happens to be one of my precinct committee people, called me about an issue, and she called and left the message at home when I was at work. I have both my numbers published. She should have called me at work, but nonetheless, I got home, I got her message, and I called her at 6:30 right when I got home. I returned a call at 7:30, I returned a call at 8:30. I couldn't get a hold of her, so she broke my record. I didn't get 24 hours same day service back to Norma Garrett, but until then, every single person that's contacted me has gotten contacted back the same day, addressed all their issues to the best of the office's ability. I mean, when you're elected to city council, you don't become Superman. You're still limited by what the powers of this office allow you to do. So, we do the best we can. We stress, responsiveness to the 1st District. And then the second thing I want to do is stress was wanted to really work hard for economic development. When I was elected, when I ran 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago to the day, March 17, 2003, the Indy Star called Terre Haute, the city of Terre Haute, the model of stagnation. And if you can read over there, I brought in some flyers just released by Site Location magazine. We are now 7th in the nation in site location, due to our job growth and due to the millions, almost $300 million of investment. So I think we've stressed that pretty well.
Chair Roman.
Thanks to the League and all who have made this evening possible. I am Rahman Turk Roman. No, I don't use Rahman either, so don't you. I'm an independent Democrat. I owe no allegiance to any individual, special interest group, or anyone. I have, in my entire political career, kept foremost in mind studying the issues, knowing the facts, and doing what I then thought was best for my constituents. I spent 8 years on the Vigo County Council, and during that period of time, as Mr. Anderson now smiles at me, can attest to, I made many decisions and stances that were not contiguous with special interest groups, with Chamber of Commerce, with business or industry. There were decisions that I made that I felt was in the best interest of the taxpayer. So I would like very much to have the opportunity to spend my time on the City Council doing the same thing. I have been active and involved in the community, everything from 7 different boards to organizations, activities. I retired from Indiana State. I still teach a class adjunct every once in a while. I have been 15 years in the men's senior baseball league. That's why I'm crippled and old. I have, my favorite is Happiness Bag. I spent 10 years on the board of directors. And that, along with CODA, a number of the other areas where we need to spend our time taking the less advantage and those people that need our help. Thank you.
Frederick Bauer.
My name is Fred Bauer. I'm a candidate for the city district 3 of the city council. I'm not going to spend time talking about myself because I invested some money in a brochure that tells you all about me if you're interested. If you're not, just leave it sitting on the table. I got inspired to run for the city council because I've seen progress happen in Terre Haute that I haven't seen in all my life, and I've had a long life in this city. And I think it's incumbent on the council to put their shoulders to the wheel to keep that happening. The other thing, I'm an issue guy. I think that this city council in the next 4 years is going to face 2 major problems that the council is going to have to deal with, and they're going to have to be responsible about those issues. One of them is a self-inflicted wound, and that has to do with our sewage treatment facilities and the overflow of groundwater into the sewage plant, clogging up the sewage plant to the point that we dump raw sewage into the Wabash River. We're under a mandate from the EPA to get that fixed by 2012. We've started on it, but we got to keep our shoulder to the wheel to get that done, because those folks down in Vincennes are going to be madder than hell at us when all our raw sewage rushes past their homes. The other issue that is important is the 2% circuit breaker that was not a self-inflicted wound, it was inflicted by the General Assembly. It's an idiotic deal passed by the legislature in an effort to look like they're doing something about property tax relief. It ain't gonna happen. If that stays in effect, we're gonna have a major problem because most of the city's budget has to do with personnel, their salaries, their wages, their benefits, and the number of employees. So we're gonna have to bite that bullet, and it's gonna take a responsible city council to do that.
Thank you. Now, the Alderman.
Please use the microphone and we're going to control the hearing in the back. Thank you.
Just have to share a little bit.
Okay. My name is Norm Loudermilk. I'm running for re-election for the 3rd District. I was first elected in 1995 and took office in 96. I ran then on the same principle that I ran now, which is that I represent working men and women in the North End. I've grown up in the North End. I've lived there my entire life, except for the short time I lived in a fraternity house while I was going to college on South 6th Street. So I've got some ties with the South End of the community as well. I graduated from North High School, attended Indiana State University, have a bachelor's degree from there, worked for the police department for a little while, about 12 years at that department, a few years at another department. Left there, still involved in public safety as a member of the fire department. I currently am a assistant chief in charge of training for the Terre Haute Fire Department, so I'm able to train the firefighters and make sure that they're trained to standards so that we can protect the community. Our goal as City Council is to make sure that we're fiscally responsible. And in my opinion, over the last few years, we've not done a very good job of that. We haven't done that job because we have not attacked the budget that we should have attacked. And many of my constituents in the back row will agree with me. The 2% circuit breaker is an absolute reality. It's going to force the burden of placing blame for raising your taxes away from the state legislature and on local government. And I think that you need somebody on the city council that's not afraid to stand up for you and fight the fight to make sure that you don't have to pay any more than what you need to. And I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Sid Bell.
Hi, I'm Sid Bell. As a 17-year homeowner in the district, District 4, I'm looking forward to being a voice for the entire district. I think over the last few years we've had a lot of turnover in our district persons. There isn't a known out there. Persons don't know who truly is representing them. And I think I'm the person that can come in to the district, share the ideas of all the neighborhoods, not only the downtown, Union Hospital, and all of the businesses and families who live in this district. I can be that voice. I do hope that you'll pick up my blue flyer on the table, and it does have my cell phone number as well as my home number. And I want you to know that I am accessible. I am available to be your voice. Thank you.
Next we have Todd Nation. Todd.
My name is Todd Nation, and I was elected to represent the 4th District of the city 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago. I took office along with Rich and Norm and Mayor Burke back in January of 2004, and I've represented the 4th District since then. I agree that the 4th District's more than downtown. I feel lucky to have had the cooperation of my Farrington's Grove neighbors. I feel lucky to have had the trust of my Union Hospital area constituents last year when we were going round and round about whether or not to vacate a block at 7th Street. And I feel that I've done a good job of standing up for the interests of homeowners, of regular people. Downtown development is something that I have been working on for years through the Downtown Terre Haute Inc. board and through my small business, or my role as a small business person. But it's really the neighborhoods and the individual taxpayers and constituents who have had my ear for the last 3+ years. I hope that you will look beyond what you see here at this forum. I hope if you want to know more about me personally, there is a flyer that I brought on the table back there. And I also have a website up at www.toddnation.com. There's a lot of information on that site. This is a complicated job, and there are a lot of things that we could touch on. 2 minutes isn't very long, but I do look forward to trying to field your questions and give you straight answers. Like Rich, I've been very responsive. I've been able to get back to pretty much everybody who's contacted me over the last 3 years plus, and I look forward to talking with you. Thank you for your support.
And now we will turn to hear from the Republican candidates for City Council, and immediately to my left is Kevin Anderson. Kevin?
Thank you. First of all, excuse me, I'm a little nervous. I've been public speaking since high school. Some of you might look at me and ask if I've actually graduated from high school, but I have. Lived in the 1st District pretty much my entire life. I went to Barrington Grove, Sarah Scott, graduated from South Vigo High School, attended Indiana State University and Ivy Tech. During that time, I've watched my friends get their education and leave Terre Haute because either they didn't like what was going on or there's better opportunities awaiting them elsewhere. I would like to change that and bring better jobs so we don't lose good young people. See, I was introduced to the political scene at a very young age because my dad, Brad Anderson, he's been doing it ever since I can remember, some type of public office. But I'd say I spent the last 25 years of my life in this town, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm running for city councils because I want to make the best decision to make the place where I live, where my family lives, and my friends live, the best place possible. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to Brian Humphrey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you to the League of Women Voters for having us here at the Tribune Star as well. Unlike most of the other candidates, I did not grow up in Terre Haute, but I did choose to live here because I think this is a nice city, and I think it can continue to get even better. And the reason I am running for City Council is because I believe in the rights and responsibilities of the citizens. Too many times I see City Council, or any government for that matter, think they need to make almost every decision for its citizens, and I don't believe that's the case. I believe the citizens should be able to keep more of their tax money and decide what they want to do with it. I just believe that's the true form of government at any level, and that's what I will fight for when I am elected to the City Council. I will be accountable for any of my actions, and I will be a caretaker of the citizens' money, because that's exactly what it is. When we're taxed, it's only supposed, in my opinion, it's supposed to be spent on a few things. We have a lot of great ideas that people come up with, but a lot of times I don't believe they're actually items that should be taken care of in the public sector. So that's what I believe, and that's why I'm running. So I would appreciate your vote on May 8th in the Republican primary. Thank you very much.
Next, Robert Gill.
My name is Robert Gill. I'm a Republican candidate for Terre Haute City Council in the 2nd District seat. I've lived in the Wabash Valley and taught at ISU teaching economics for 16 years. Some of you may know me as the person who gives the annual Chamber of Commerce Groundhog Day speech, or others have read what I have said or heard me on in our local media commenting on Terre Haute's economy. I'm running for City Council because I want to do more than just comment on it. I want to have an impact. And I believe the city government should be focused on creating economic opportunities, not by directly employing people, but by rebuilding the city's 50-year-old infrastructure in a way that will attract employers. City's roads are in poor shape, the sewers are not getting the much needed attention that they deserve. We have no storm drains in the eastern side of the city, and the combined sewer overflow, as has been referred to, is a distinct problem with fines coming behind it. Unless we make real investments in ourselves as a community, it is unrealistic and fanciful to believe that others will make investments for us and with us. So I believe that the City Council has a responsibility to use the tax and regulatory tools at our disposal to help Terre Haute be the place that businesses choose to do business. I understand the role of the City Council as the legislative and fiscal body of the city, and I understand the Byzantine state-imposed fiscal circumstances that we find ourselves in, especially with the circuit breaker. That I will do what we can, and I hope the legislature will do what it can to give local governments more alternatives, and that is what I will be seeking. I know that to accomplish something as a Republican in this city, you have to work with colleagues in the other party, and as a result, I will attempt to forge such alliances with like-minded people. My vote on any issue will be guided by one question: will it help Terre Haute grow? Thank you.
Lastly, Robert Clark.
Anybody who knows me knows that I really don't need a microphone to be heard. My name is Robert Flott, and I came to Terre Haute, Indiana in 1981 to attend Indiana State University. And I fell in love with the city. I've stayed here, could have gone lots of other places, but chose to stay here and live in Terre Haute. I am the editor and publisher of the Wabash Valley Journal of Business, and as such, I've been attending city council meetings now for about 7 years, and paid attention and researched issues, gone in, dug up legal questions, called people like Dr. Gell, asked them what's going on, and really try to learn what's happening. What I found out is that too often the taxpayers of Terre Haute are being told that they have to make an investment in the city when many of them are struggling to make an investment in themselves. I believe that as a citizen, I am the best source of how to spend my money, not the government. If I'm elected, my job will be to make sure that you keep more of your money in your pocket, because that's where the money belongs. Government spends nothing that it does not take from the taxpayers. And I believe that that's something that this government has forgotten. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters and my colleagues, former colleagues at Tribune Star, for having me here. Thank you.